Generals, gentlemen.
Hello, what is up, and welcome back to Command & Conquer 0 Hour 1.6. I am Ownage Machine of the Generals Gentlemen, and today I have a solo cast between Relax as the red China nuke and Opsnyder. Relax as the yellow China nuke and Opsnyder as the red China nuke, rather. So a nuke mirror between both of these players here today. But this is no ordinary shoutcast. This is round 1 of the 0 Hour 1.6 World Championship. So this is a best of 5 here on Melting Snow. So should see some awesome games considering these are two very skilled players. Relax of which actually being the guy who made this map along with most of the other custom maps. So Relax is a bit of a baller, so he's awesome. He does a lot of work for the community, not only with his map design, but he also is the referee of this tournament that he's actually playing in. Uh-oh. Open for abuse, but no, I don't think we'll see abuse from Relaxed admin powers, but hopefully that will be cool actually. It always causes controversy and conspiracy, which we love, do we not? So both players going for this double war factory, not a surprise at all. Double war factory is a very, very common thing to see in a nuke mirror, because basically nuke mirrors are kind of just come down to a lot of really early aggression with those nuke Battlemasters because of their speed and how dangerous they can be with that self-destruct. If you position the Battlemaster into the line of trucks, you can pretty much kill them if the Battlemaster goes boom. Which, if it doesn't go boom, you're going to kill it anyway with your gun. So you got to be very careful in this matchup that you do not actually let your opponent get his Battlemasters into your truck line. And actually looks like Relax is going for that forward central barracks, and with that barracks it's very important because he can then actually take these garrisons, and with those garrisons he can really shut down a lot of Battlemaster aggression, or at least slow it down, because then they have to go all the way around at the top or the bottom. But it looks like we do actually have one nuke Battlemaster from Relax actually going to sneak his way into this working line, while at the same time we do have another Battlemaster who's going to actually take down the dozer. That is not a good position to be in when you only have 2 dozers because he sold his command center. So definitely Relax has to keep a good eye on this dozer, make sure he doesn't actually lose it to another Battlemaster, and actually losing the trucks as well. So far this has not been very good for Relax at all, but actually looks like Opsnyder had the same thing happen to him, actually lost 2 of his trucks. So both players doing quite a bit of damage with this early Battlemaster aggression. So shout out for both players for being very aggressive, and actually that outpost may well take out this dozer. Dozer hunting is more important than truck hunting, because you cannot rebuild your dozer where you can rebuild trucks. Actually, yeah, once again losing another truck, but it actually looks like Opsnyder has a huge army of 4 Battlemasters at the center of the map here, but it looks like actually Relax does have a Gatling and an outpost as well. Not sure why. Battlemasters are a pretty good counter to Gatling and outpost, but actually these Battlemasters are going to go down in a matter of seconds due to that self-destruct detonating and doing a fair bit of splash damage to themselves. So a bit of mismarkery there from Opsnyder, not actually splitting up his Battlemasters, doing a lot less damage than he could have. But actually now with these garrisons, Relax is going to have an awesome time and actually warding off and securing this part of the map. So will we see a third supply from Relax? It's going to be a bit hard with only one dozer, and actually third supplies are very risky in nuke mirrors, I find, because it's very hard to defend your 2 trucks, let alone 3 supplies. And actually what I usually do in nuke mirrors myself is I usually actually have, like Relax has done, we have your factory on one side, but then you also have your barracks on the other side, completely walling off your trucks, basically like what GLA does. Because nukes, they're really hard to defend against, especially, like, not even in nuke mirrors. If you're just versing a nuke general at all, like if you're tank or vanilla against a nuke, it's very important to actually wall off that barracks. But actually looks like once again this Battlemaster will harass and probably take down both of those trucks, while at the same time this Battlemaster is doing the exact same. So Relax, you really got to make sure you don't lose these trucks, because it's setting you back quite a fair bit. And this dozer actually getting safe into the corner, does not want to lose that, getting in a very unusual position that he probably would not expect. But yeah, there goes both of these trucks. So I think the count so far has been about 8 or so trucks lost from Relax, and you can definitely see the difference if you look at the Battlemaster count, where Relax has to be constantly rebuilding his tanks, whereas Opsnyder is not. Truck, sorry. And actually, yes, look, this dozer actually will go down to that Battlemaster, and actually, no, that's terrible. Well, okay, died anyway, the nuke radiation. That was close actually, it almost survived that. Because it finished off not with a tank shell but with the radiation on the floor. So actually having no dozers anymore, Relax can only he can't rebuild any of his buildings. That's very, very crucial, because it means that you can't get the third supply, you can't get the prop center, where that's exactly what Opsnyder has. He does have his prop center, and so we'll probably see some overlords or some ECMs, I would imagine, actually going for his third supply as well. So definitely not looking good for Relax. He really has to push out and do a little damage, otherwise he will fall out of the game. I think the most important thing where not having command center makes you fall behind is when your opponent then builds his command center later on. Then once he starts calling in those powerful support powers such as Carpet Bomb or Artillery Strike, and take down factories or supplies, which you then can't rebuild, which can very, very be bad. Be very, very bad. So I think we'll have to see Relax push forward, but he can't, because he's just losing so many trucks. He's barely able to actually defend his own base, let alone push out. So I would not be surprised at all if Opsnyder takes this game because of this economic and technical lead that he has. But thus far, do we have a barracks? No barracks, and that's very important to have when you have your prop center, because a Lotus can just do so much damage, because it really forces your opponent into building a lot of detection and just kind of keeping it around their base, or they run the risk of actually losing a fair bit of their buildings. And actually this barracks, yeah, going for that forward barracks, probably for that Lotus, I would imagine, may even lose this Dozer, but not a big deal because he has a second one in his base. And now this Overlord ECM is very strong, but actually will lose the ECM to the TNT bomb. That good work from Opsnyder, from Relax, landing that. But this Overlord is going to have no problems at all mopping up at these two Battle Masters, but with the outpost it may actually stand a chance. And the Overlord is going to be taking some shots off, but losing quite a fair bit, and actually will maybe even completely run over the outpost, but actually not killing the tank hunters. I actually thought that would have killed them, but no, apparently when you run over an outpost, the tank hunters survive. So actually not doing much there at all, but that's okay. Opsnyder doesn't have to be cost effective in his exchanges when you have 3 supplies and, you know, Dozers and Overlords. And actually not getting the oil thus far. Maybe the Lotus will go capture the oil. That's a good thing to do, because it's a very safe economic lead, whereas if you try and, you know, capture enemy's base, there's a chance that it'll completely fail. So generally people, I find, capture the oil and then use the Lotus to actually do some harassment. But will we see the same? And actually Relax is trying to deny this flame tank. Probably will do, no problems at all. Very exposed there, maybe should have gone a long way around to avoid being detected. But now 2 Overlords and a Lotus, yeah, that's not going to be very good. And Relax calls the GG. So definitely Opsnyder being very aggressive with those early Battle Masters, doing so much damage to not only the trucks, but also to the Dozers that Relax really didn't have much in the way of actually defending. But definitely I think Relax probably shouldn't have gone for those outposts. Outposts are not very good against Battle Masters. I find that nuke mirrors tend to be very focused on Battle Masters, but then followed by Helixes are very awesome, and then, you know, ECM Overlords, that sort of thing. So good work to Opsnyder, and on to game number 2 for Relax vs Opsnyder. Hello again, and welcome to game number 2 for Opsnyder vs Relax here in the 1.6 World Championship. We do have this time Opsnyder as the pink China tank and Relax as the yellow China tank. So once again, both players are in a mirror matchup. Not sure if that's intentional or whether or not they were randomed, but that's okay, does not matter at all. Last game we saw Opsnyder take the game with his superior nuclear Battlemaster aggression, but it's going to be interesting to see how this goes this game, because in a tank mirror, because your tanks and pretty much everything is really slow, it means you don't really have the opportunity to be aggressive and do a lot of harassment. Generally, tank mirrors are a bit slower, and they kind of tend to use their tanks to kind of push and have a huge army kind of contesting the middle supplies, as opposed to harassing the opponent's base supplies, but that's okay. So we do have a double factory from both players. Once again, double factory is very good as tank, especially even compared to nuke, where, you know, those early battle masters are so crucial. Sometimes you'll also see people go for like a really forward supply, because basically as tank, if you can hold that middle supply, you'll be very good positioned, because then you have the more tanks, and the more tanks equals win, of course. And actually Opsnyder going for that third truck. Okay, that's kind of weird. That's maybe was an accident, but I would say Opsnyder's better than that. I would say he's a very clever cookie, and actually going to be using that truck to scout into your opponent's base, and that's very important in a tank mirror, because everything is really, really slow. it can be hard to get scouting otherwise, and scouting is very crucial in this matchup where you can spam Battle Masters, not a problem at all, but then if your opponent actually like rushes a bunker helix, you can very well just lose the game then and there outright, but actually not scouting at all. Okay, well, fair enough, but actually Opsnyder will take down this forward barracks from Relax with that flame tank. Relax's flame tank cannot do a single thing because they have flame resistance from each other, so flame tank's going to sit there not doing anything when they're looking at each other, and actually this outpost will do a fair bit of damage eventually, maybe even take out the dozer or the trucks. Will he eject a TNT bomb, because one RPG by themselves is actually doing pretty pathetic damage. If you look at that, dozer's actually got a rocket damage resistance increase compared to 1.4. Usually they die very fast, but actually, yeah, taking down that dozer, that's very, very important, because now Opsnyder only has the one dozer, so that was a flip from last game where Relax lost his dozer very, very fast, and actually Opsnyder now having these two garrisons, and that's good because the map control makes you can secure those third supplies very easily, and actually now losing another truck to this outpost. The outpost definitely paying off, which you would hope so, because outposts as China tank are very expensive, going at 950 pop, and actually look, Opsnyder is trying to make those trucks do their own, trying to position them on the outpost so they do the friendly fire, but Relax actually paying attention and not attacking the trucks when they're that close, and now these Battle Masters will kill each other. Very epic showdown there of tanks doing the exact same thing to each other at the same time, but looks like Opsnyder does have the third supply secured with the garrisons. With these tanks, he's not going to have much problem at all actually defending those unless the flame tank can sneak through the other side, but Relax knows it's there now, and he's going to... Opsnyder knows, I'm really bad at this, Opsnyder knows the flame tank is there now, and probably will reposition to take that down, and actually the outpost taking another victim, landing the TNT bomb on that Battle Master, and that will actually die, but looks like the flame tank from Relax will actually sneak its way past these Battle Masters and may truly actually take down this supply. The dozer is there to repair the supply, but it looks like it will actually go down despite the Battle Master killing it. Oh no, there goes the supply. So now Opsnyder has lost his economic edge, which is a problem because Relax actually has his prop center. And so when your opponent has a prop center and you do not, that's not a good position to be in, because they have, you know, bigger tanks than your tanks, and bigger tanks better than small tanks. So I've heard. There goes the room, and actually looks like another flame tank from Relax is sneaking through the top of this map, and it will go undetected by Opsnyder completely, and that's really bad because now the flame tank may actually take down the factory, if not the supply. Opsnyder definitely should have claimed some of these garrisons for that vision, so you can see flame tank sneaking through, and that would have actually kept that supply alive, and maybe even this as well. Opsnyder is going to have to get very lucky with his Battle Master, but actually looks like this Battle Master may be there in time to deny the flame tank, but Opsnyder is not paying attention. What are you doing? Defend the flame tank from your base. That is the problem when you go for a command center cell, is that your map awareness is not as good as it could be, losing that war factory as a result, not having that radar to actually see that flame tank. But actually looks like Relax may have to defend a push from these Battle Masters here, and now the flame tank may actually take down the supply as well, but the Battle Master will finish it off. Don't think it'll kill it. Yep, good work there defending that supply. The damage was already done, losing his second factory. So Opsnyder definitely has to defend this third, otherwise the tech advantage from Relax will overtake him with these ECMs and perhaps even Overlords. Yes, there's an Overlord tank right now, and at least the other thing as well is not just the Overlord ECMs, but also having that prop tower means you can get auto-loaders, and auto-loaders make such a huge difference in Battle Master engagements. And actually Opsnyder really has to position himself better in a line formation rather than kind of being blobbed up like that where only the front ones can attack. Actually looks like Relax is trying to avoid committing to this fight, where Opsnyder is trying to really force him into an engagement, and it actually looks like, yeah, Opsnyder now got a good position now, formation, but there is so many ECM tanks that will actually disable 2 if not 3 of these Battle Masters, and actually the firewall will not do much at all, but there's just so many more Battle Masters from Relax that he will actually win this engagement. Look at that, we have 4 Battle Masters were disabled from those ECM tanks. Relax being absolutely on the ball with his ECM micro, disabling more than 1 tank per ECM. basically making half of Opsnyder's tanks not doing anything. So that ECM micro can be very important, actually changing the way how the battle goes, because obviously if only half tanks are attacking, then only half of your tanks are going to die. But it looks like actually Relax will push onto this factory as well, catching down more tanks, more things with those ECMs, which are very important at kind of committing to engagements, because it really forces them in a situation where if they don't commit, they'll get caught, and then some things will die and actually going to lose this factory. And with that factory gone, then Opsnyder really doesn't have anything going for him. He has his prop center now, but I think it's kind of too late for Opsnyder to start getting his own ECMs. Really should focus on probably a airfield, actually getting an airfield, and now he could get a bunker helix, and the bunker helixes are very fantastic at dealing with these Overlord ECM mixtures. But it looks like Opsnyder isn't actually trying to defend his supply, sending the supply off, going for a base race instead. He has 8 Battlemaster tanks, and with all these tanks he can do quite a fair bit of damage against Relax's undefended base. What can Relax do to defend against this huge army of hoarded Vet 2 Battlemasters? I am not sure. Will Relax actually retreat and defend his base, or will he actually try and push into Opsnyder's base as well? The problem in this case, though, is Opsnyder actually does not have any anti-infantry, and as a result, these tank hunters will do quite a fair bit of damage, because Battlemasters are not very good against tank hunters, obviously. And actually looks like the Lotus from Relax did take this oil derrick, getting those extra funds, and now here comes the bunker helix, and that will poop on all of these Battlemasters. And so I think actually, yeah, Relax may lose quite a fair bit. Relax could lose this supply, but the Overlord has shown up just in the nick of time, especially with this Lotus to disable these tanks. So Opsnyder may actually lose this engagement, and I would definitely say he will, and as a result he will lose also his prop center, and with that prop center he's not going to have much in the way of tech. So he's definitely going to have to really rely on this helix. His helix marker has to be absolutely on the ball, going to take down some Battlemasters and maybe even take down some important buildings. Otherwise Opsnyder will fall out, losing half of his base pretty much. May even lose his command center as well. Cancel the command center, don't lose the command center. No! And here comes the helix. The helix will actually finish off those Battlemasters. Good work there, keeping the command center alive. And so now I would imagine we're going to see a lot more Gatling tanks from Relax to compensate for that bunker helix. And actually the Gatling helix is going to take down some Gatling tank is going to take down some of these trucks, and maybe even the helix, but of course not, because the helix instantly killed it. Even losing his war factor. Relax is just being so aggressive, really pushing him back, because Relax has known the tech advantage, but also the oil. That Black Lotus from Opsnyder will actually recapture that, giving him those extra funds from that oil refinery. So this helix is weak though, it's only got like a bit over half health, so he could lose that very easily if he's not actually paying attention to that that Gatling, the bunker helix rather. And so now what is Relax going to do about this? We have just more and more Gatlings on the field, positioning them all over the place and actually revealing that helix from Opsnyder. No, can't kill it. And now the Gatling may actually take out this helix. Will that? Oh, he's not paying attention. He can disable it with the Lotus. And no, not disabling with the Lotus. And as a result, the helix goes down. And that is a huge blow for Opsnyder, because that's all that Opsnyder actually had going for him, was that bunker helix. It can make such a huge difference. But in that case, it did not at all. It just died. It was tragic, it was unfortunate, and now once again Relax will send a second Gatling tank to take down more and more of these trucks. It's very hard to defend against Gatling tanks with only Battlemasters, because Battlemasters are so much slower than Gatling tanks. They're quite fast, and once again the Lotus is maybe even taking the oil. No, just kidding, actually the Lotus does not go for the oil. Rather than that, it wants to just take out some of these important buildings. Once again, Relax getting these third supplies, so it's definitely looking good for Relax. He has so much going for him. Made the carpet bomb. Will it land on these Battlemasters? No, the carpet bomb is actually going for the base instead. Probably going to take down the supply. I would say, in conjunction of the artillery, is going to be very effective at actually taking down a lot of these structures. There goes one supply. Will that take down the second supply? Maybe even the factory. There we go. Oh, there goes the factory actually. Not even. Oh, she didn't even kill the factory. That was terrible. That was a pathetic artillery. God damn you. But yeah, not looking good for Relax, because he has one supply, he doesn't have map control, and there's a Lotus in his base, which is going to take that command center, and with that command center gone, there goes all of his support powers, which you definitely need in a situation like this, where your opponent has a huge army, and you do not. So there goes the command center, and now this huge push of Battlemasters, Tank Hunters, and Overlord will actually probably win the game for Relax, I would say. Yeah, GG there from Opsnyder. So now it's 1-1 for each player. Relax actually taking that tank mirror there. And I would say that was because Opsnyder was just very sloppy with his map awareness. He didn't have not only those very key garrisons that can give you the scouting information on those flanks, but he could have at least just camped like one Battlemaster, because he lost not only that first supply, but then also that second war factory to two separate flame tanks, which I think Opsnyder probably would have taken the game had he not actually lost those buildings. Because basically, when you lose that third supply and your opponent goes for prop center, then it kind of forces you into losing. I was going to think of something clever, but I could not. So that'll do that for any last words. On to game number 3 now for Relax versus Opsnyder. Hello again, and welcome back to the Relax vs Opsnyder 1.6 World Championship. Thus far, we have Relax and Opsnyder both on 1-1 each. This time, we do have Opsnyder as the GLA Vanilla and Relax as, once again, the China Tank. The previous game, Relax actually took the win with that China Tank, so perhaps he wants to stick to what he's good at. Because, he won that game, so I was like, well, maybe I should keep playing them because I'll keep winning. That would be a very clever decision, but actually looks like this time Relax is going for a very forward supply placement of something. Yeah, they go supply placement. And that's a very good thing. I love doing that as China against GLA. And the reason why is because then you get a very early truck, and you can use that truck to deny tunnels, to run over workers across the map. You can also then use it to run over workers and such on their supply lines. But actually, it looks like Opsnyder is going for a very fast technical, which could completely shut down this truck. Relax is going to have to micro out of that. Okay, good work. He did not lose that truck. Will maybe even deny this worker, but it looks like the tunnel will actually finish. No, the tunnel goes down, and actually losing another truck to that technical terrorist, sorry. But unfortunately, the terrorist could have killed the dozer perhaps, and killing the dozer is much more important than killing a truck, because they're cheaper and harder to rebuild. But actually now that the truck from Relax will take down some of these workers, actually maybe even all of them. Oh, only one of them goes down. That looks like it's going to be a lot worse actually, but not only that, is actually now denying the mining time, so a bit of harassment damage there. But actually Opsnyder taking this middle garrison, and that's very important. With that middle garrison, you can actually fire shots off at this truck and kill it, if not delay their mining. That is a common theme from both players, and actually looks like Opsnyder is going for a tech terror. 4 terrorists is enough to take down a supply or a factory, basically shutting down quite a fair bit of potential of what China can do, because then they have to rebuild what they lost before they can really do much themselves. Now, another technical is coming out from Opsnyder. I'm not sure what's in there. Perhaps a tech terror, perhaps another tech RPG. I'm not sure. Okay, just one RPG, very important there. Once again, taking these garrisons to deny the trucks. But actually, it's full of terrorists, RPGs. 5 RPGs now can take down all of those trucks, if not the supply itself. And now the flame tank is going to actually kill these tunnels, and that's very good there, taking down some of the map control from Opsnyder. But meanwhile, we do have a dozer that might actually die to this tech terror. Actually, no, Opsnyder does not want to kill it. He wants to kill the supply first. Because if you send one tech terrorist to kill the dozer, then you will actually lose the ability to kill the supply with those terrorists. And now Relax actually needs to rebuild that supply, else he will not have the optimal amount of income that he should. But actually looks like this third supply will go down as well, perhaps to these technical RPGs, but the Gatling tank will completely mop up all of these RPGs, apart from the ones that are of course in the garrison. And will the dozer die to the building? Looks like it will. Oh, okay, there goes the dozer. And now actually very lucky that Opsnyder did not want to kill that dozer, because then Relax would have lost both of his dozers. And that is of course not a good position to be in, where you have no way of building stuff. As I explained last game, it's kind of bad. You want that. But actually, surprisingly, Relax has managed to keep this third supply alive. Very crucial there. I thought for sure Opsnyder was going to deny that because of all these garrisons, but now here comes a flame tank, and that will actually mop up the rest of those RPGs in these middle garrisons. Opsnyder just getting more and more tunnels on the field, getting more map control where he can. Of course, not a surprise coming from GLA, where those tunnel networks are so crucial to have. Relax rebuilding his third supply, getting that economic lead over Opsnyder so far, and actually getting these Marauder tanks very, very good counter to Gatling and Flame tanks we've seen so many of so far. But it looks like Relax's dozer is so exposed, he could lose this very easily to the Marauder, but he's not actually paying attention, and the Marauder is not going to focus down the dozer. So a bit of a mistake there from Opsnyder. He could have denied both of these dozers. But regardless, Relax is going to have to transition into more Battle Masters, if not RPGs, to actually deal with these Marauders, because Gatling flame tanks are terrible against Marauders, of course. Everyone knows that. So you're just getting more and more tunnels. Actually, a huge army. Where did that come from? A huge army of Marauders, RPGs, and even a Toxin Tractor to clear down the garrisons. But that firewall will take down the Toxin Tractor. They're so weak. They're so exposed. And actually, the mines of this supply is going to deny that tech RPG there. Awesome work. Basically, if Relax can hold on to this third supply, I think he'll be fine. Because Opsnyder basically has only been on 2 supplies the entire time. But actually, Relax is... Opsnyder's going for this really early palace. And getting a really early palace is fantastic, because then you can get those scud launchers, which you can use basically just kind of siege the supply from a distance, from the safety of your Marauder tanks, rather than having to kind of commit into close range, getting in range of those garrisons to actually take it down. But it looks like the Marauder tanks will flank around the garrisons. Perhaps they'll go for this supply here. Perhaps they will just kill it from above. That's what I love about Melting Snow, is that these garrisons only provide a limited protection that you can easily flank, and it basically prevents camping from being actually effective. And actually that Flame Tank did quite a fair bit of damage against the Toxin Tractor and the Flame Tank, so Flame Tank definitely proving superior over Toxin Tractors, but everyone knows that Toxin Tractors are terrible, they're pretty bad. But actually, yeah, this huge Marauder army will just gun down that supply in no time at all. Some of the Marauders actually getting double scrapped there, double scrap, single scrap on these Marauders, and Marauders when they're double scrapped are so scary. And actually now Relax is going to be the one harassing Opsnyder's workers. Awesome, good work there. Now that is shutting down half of Opsnyder's economy, and definitely Relax needs to do that, because most of this game Relax has been the one suffering some harassment, denying those trucks, and now with the fact that Relax has lost his third supply, he definitely needs to be aggressive himself to catch up. But these double scrap Marauders will completely ward off any Gatlings, no problem at all. Getting more and more tunnels closer and closer to Relax's base. That is not good at all. You definitely want to deny the GLA tunnels where they can, because then it is so hard to defend against aggression from all angles, because they just simply have the mobility that China, of course, does not, especially as Tank General, where tanks are slow. But now this Bunker Helix is going to be the ideal counter to this Marauder spam. Bunker Helix is a fantastic against Marauders, and is actually going to use his time to deny these tunnels where he can, but he will not be very successful, because there's just so many tunnels. He has to kill those tunnels, and those as well, which he simply cannot do. I'm sure Opsnyder will get some quads before that actually happens. Will we see some quads going down from Opsnyder to actually deal with this Bunker Helix threat? Meanwhile, Opsnyder is just building more tunnels where he can, and actually getting the garrisons as well, which will be definitely very good defending this Helix, and actually popping out a quad as well. Will he kill the Helix? No, the Helix will survive, barely, just barely keeping the Helix alive. Very important. I think that Helix is going to decide the game. If that Helix stays alive, if he macros it well, he could probably stay in this game, but by the looks of it, I would say Opsnyder definitely has the advantage with just the huge tunnel network all across the map, and also with the oil now as well. And that's putting Opsnyder in the lead, and actually going for MiGs. Relax going for MiGs, not sure why, because with the Bunker Helix, it already forces your opponent into so much anti-air in the form of quads of RPGs, that generally you want to get more Battle Masters to actually deal with those quads. So, okay, fair enough. We'll see if the MiGs actually prevail. They definitely can do if you get like 4 of them with Black Napalm, and then the Firestorm can absolutely wreak havoc through tank armies, but when they're in small numbers, they're just not really worth it, especially when you already got a Bunker Helix. Because at the moment, Relax doesn't have any form of like ways of dealing with these quads. He doesn't really have enough Battle Masters to actually deal with those, at least not with a huge army of Marauders protecting those quads. And actually, Opsnyder is going for a Stinger Sight. That's a good idea, actually. You don't see it very often, and the reason why is because Stinger Sights are absolutely terrible against everything apart from air units, with actually really good air units. And actually, yeah, that Stinger Sight's going to be very important at defending the tunnel from the Helix. And now it looks like Opsnyder is trying to push forward where he can, maybe even lose the tunnels, no staying alive due to the GLA hole. And actually looks like, yeah, it looks like Marauders are going to push into Relax's base, and here come the MiGs and the Helix, but the quads will absolutely gun down all of the MiGs, and maybe even the Helix as well. The Helix goes down as well as all of the MiGs, so definitely I think that single engagement has probably lost the game for Relax, because now without his air force, he doesn't really have any way of dealing with this huge ground army from Opsnyder. Getting more tunnels, more stinger sites, even his third supply. Definitely not looking good for Relax at all, but yet he will steal in this game. Selling off his airfield, actually, going for that prop center as a result. Going to go for some overlords, I would say, but with his scrapped marauders, overlords aren't really that effective. I would say the best thing that Relax could get would be nuke cannons, but of course, because Relax is tank general, it means he does not, in fact, get nuke cannons, which is bad. Nuke cannons are really, really good. And that's why I like playing China Nuke, because I just love nuke cannons, as many of you probably know. Actually, look, Relax, Opsnyder going for his 4th supply, so it's kind of, you know, getting more and more ahead. That Relax kind of has to push out now, or he'll lose, which he can't push out now because Opsnyder has just more stuff than him. Yeah, even Battlebuster now, he's getting that Palace tech. Definitely, Opsnyder has everything he needs to take care of Relax. The Gatling cannon will not do much against tanks. They do very low damage against the tank armor, and actually you're going to take down in a matter of seconds to the Scorpion and Marauder tanks. And now as a result, actually I think that Relax will probably GG very soon, because he just simply has no way of dealing with this army. I mean, these Battle Masters will try, and they might do a fair bit, but you know, really, what can Relax do? Unless he kind of like loses everything to a bunker, which he'd be harder not to. Going for his command center as well, probably going to sneak attack. GG, yeah. GG! So, what happened there? I think Relax definitely didn't quite defend his supplies as well as he could have. Opsnyder was very, very on the ball with his tech RPGs, his tech terror. Just like we saw in game number 1, Opsnyder is very, very good at his aggressive style of play. And despite the fact that Relax in the end ended up getting more supplies, most of that supplies was dedicated to just building more trucks and supplies because he kept losing them. Other than that, I also think the MiGs were a bad choice. But no, Opsnyder was very good, using that time to harass, to build up his tunnel network, build up his army, and definitely in the end it proved too much for Relax to defend against. So good game for Opsnyder, and now Opsnyder taking the lead. It is now a 2-1 on Opsnyder's favour, so next game could well and truly dictate the outcome of this. Who will move on to the next round? Let's find out in game number 4. Hello again and welcome to game number 4 for Opsnyder vs Relax here in the 0 Hour 1.6 World Championship. This is possibly the last game. Opsnyder is 2 as opposed to Relax is 1. So if Opsnyder takes this game, Opsnyder will move on to the next round, knocking out Relax of this tournament. And now we do have Relax as the China Nuke, and we do have Opsnyder as the China Tank. So we have seen quite a fair bit of China so far between these two players. And we've seen a nuke mirror and a tank mirror, but we haven't actually seen a tank versus nuke. So this could be very interesting to see how these both style of plays will actually kind of play out and how they differ from a mirror matchup. I would say that nuke is going to be very, very aggressive. And that was Relax, I think it was Relax, yeah. Because they just have such fast Battle Masters, it means that you can harass so easily, as we saw in game number 1. But of course, without those fast nuke Battle Masters to compete, that the slow, stronger Battle Masters have to be very defensive and kind of defend the trucks so they do not die. Which actually, it's very easy to do. If you just leave a Battle Master, you know, where they're exposed, you'll just kill the nuke Battle Master very easily. But once again, both players going for a dual war factory. We have not really seen any games other than the previous GLA game where they didn't go for a dual war factory. I like going barracks war factory. I think it's really good to have a RPG, because RPGs, they're very good defensively, because against like nuke battle masters, even like despite the fact that they have radiation shells, they're very good at defending against nuke battle masters. Whereas then having the extra funds from not getting a second factory means you can get a forward supply very easily. But it looks like a very sneaky battle master at the top will sneak its way through and may even take down some of these trucks. Opsnyder will have to scout it at least, so Opsnyder will probably be able to defend this, I would say. That battle master needs to turn around, because that nuke is in a very good position to take out What was that? Flame tank taking down the garrisons. Okay. Not sure why exactly that opponent wants to defend these garrisons, destroy the garrisons rather. But actually, yeah, the Battlemaster will take down one truck, maybe a second one. And down the bottom here, we have the outpost deny that Battlemaster there, so good work. It's actually funny seeing the slow Battlemasters trying to be aggressive. That's defensive. Never mind, my mistake. Actually, yeah, so the truck did go down, and the Battlemaster is now trying to escape from the Vet 2 Battlemaster. It can't commit in an engagement because otherwise it will just die outright. But now we will see the Vet 2 Battlemasters will just be so much stronger than the Nuke Battlemasters, but actually losing that destruction to damage the Tank Battlemasters themselves, and losing that Dozer, no! And actually, oh, if you lose, wait, that's Opsnyder's Dozer. That's his second Dozer, so Opsnyder could definitely lose both of his Battlemasters right now, unless that Battlemaster can okay, it goes down. Good. So now Opsnyder does not have any Dozers left. Relax having both of which, getting a prop center. So once again, not looking good for Opsnyder, having lost all of his Dozers. It's a common theme we're seeing where players, they seem to lose their Dozers really, really early, and that's why, another reason why I like keeping my command centers, so that if I lose my Dozers, it's not a big deal, I can just rebuild them. And now we have another sneaky Battlemaster going to take down some of the trucks, I would say, unless Opsnyder can defend that. And I'm not sure why we haven't seen these players wall off. Like, the War Factory should definitely be placed there. I don't know why he placed it there against a nuke. And then, you know, once again, as I said, a barracks can go there, or even just a bunker or something. So that outpost is going to be very effective against the slow Battlemasters, because you can just land a TNT bomb, yeah, like that. And I believe the Battlemasters actually cost less than the outpost though, so it doesn't really counter it considering it costs more. But now this Vet 3 RP Tank Hunter is going to do a fair bit of damage to the factory, but a Gatling tank will show up and completely mop him up. Vet 3 does not matter when it's a Gatling tank. Ah, Lotus! Wow, that was fast! A really, really fast Lotus from Relax is going to actually try and capture that War Factory, getting the cell at the very least, but it means that the War Factory has been denied, and now he cannot actually build simultaneously. And also, Relax, Opsnyder has no way of actually killing this Lotus. Lotus can just cap that supply, and what can Opsnyder do? His Gatling is too far away, and now even an Overlord. Oh my god, that was fast! That was a complete butt rape. Opsnyder just got owned. But I think the reason why is, it's actually kind of frustrating me, is that, you know, when you're versing a nuke general, you wall off your supply or you will lose your trucks, unless you play super defensively, which, you know, works fine. You just use camp Battlemasters near your trucks, if not even like a bunker of tank hunters, or you wall off your supplies. You can't try and be aggressive and not wall off and hope to win. It's a very easy situation. It's like GLA. GLA always walls off because it's just a thing you have to do, otherwise you lose. Well, not always, because GLA gets tunnels, but for the most part you see them wall off. Anyway, so now 2-2 for each players. So now this final game will decide the verdict of who will go on to the next round, round 2 of the 1.6 World Championship. Will it be Relax or will it be Opsnyder? Let's find out in game number 5. Hello again, and welcome back to the 5th and final game of Relax vs Opsnyder here in the 1.6 World Championship for Command & Conquer 0 Hour. Now they are in their final game as Nuke. Relax having won 2, Opsnyder also having 2, so this is their match point here. Both players opting for that Nuke General. We've seen before how powerful those early fast Battlemasters can be, having lost so many trucks and the dozers to the early aggression. Will we see the players wall off their supplies this time? I hope so. So now we do see a command center cell. Yep, despite the fact that they keep losing the dozers, they definitely are very keen and committed to selling the command center for those extra funds, which it can be important in the fact that it means that you can go a double factory and rush out 2 tanks very fast, whereas if you keep your command center and you go for a double factory, it means you kind of have to wait until you can get a second Battlemaster. So sometimes if I want to keep my command center and then go double factory, I might just delay my 4th strike for a while. But still, I think it's worth it, because then you have the field repair, you can keep a Battlemaster alive until it's in a position where the nuclear destruction can take down something very crucial like a truck or a dozer. And actually, look, Relax is going for a barracks this time and an early airfield. So Relax is trying something very, very ballsy. awesome. I love seeing that. I love seeing people try something different, try something wacky, especially in the grand final, or the final of this matchup, where, you know, whoever wins can be basically very, very good. What was I saying? But yeah, it actually looks like getting these tank hunters to get these garrisons as well. Awesome, because now with that garrison, he will scout that northern battlemaster, and as a result, he will defend and position his tank hunters to intercept that. But now it looks like Opsnyder will actually scout this airfield, and if he does, that'll be very bad for Relax, because yes, he scouts the airfield, and now I'm sure we'll start seeing a shit ton of Gatling tanks actually going to being positioned defensively, otherwise he will lose quite a fair bit. But now with this single factory, Relax doesn't really have much to defend against this battlemaster. Going to take out these trucks here, but the bunker helix will take that down, but not in time for the trucks to be survived. They're actually losing another dozer there, maybe even the trucks too, but that dozer is positioned in a very bad position, so Relax may lose that dozer as well, and actually the helix is not going to kill that, which is actually very fortunate for Relax that Opsnyder is not paying attention. Rather, he's actually focusing on keeping his base alive and actually might lose that dozer. Okay, yes, good work there. That could have gone downhill, but it looks like the helix is coming in from Relax, and will that helix do much? It looks like Opsnyder has not got any Gatlings. Perhaps he didn't actually scout that airfield, and as a result, he will lose several trucks, lose his second dozer, gonna lose his battlemaster as well. Here's a Gatling tank, 2 Gatling tanks. Get away from the Gatling tank. If you don't want to lose that helix, if you lose the helix, you probably lose the game, I would say. But this helix is doing so much damage, but it will actually get taken down. The evac not landing, the helix goes down, but the damage was already done. So that was actually pretty cool. And so now we just have so many tank. Oh wow, look, looks like Opsnyder is going all in, sending everything he has, all of his battlemasters, all of his Gats into Relax's base. And can Relax defend this? He doesn't really have much, does he? He only has 1 outpost, 1 battlemaster. He really needs to get more tank hunters, but it looks like Opsnyder's army is absolutely huge. He's actually rebuilding his trucks though, so it's not exactly all in, but this huge push could well and truly win the game for Opsnyder. That helix took down the trucks and dozer, but did not really take out enough of the army to stop this push, and going for a prop center. No, do not go for a prop center when there is 50,000 tanks in your base. That's bad. That's terrible. Not to cancel that. Cancel it. But actually, yeah, Battlemaster from Relax will do some harassment. So, cancelling the prop center, selling off the factory, not looking good for Relax at all, calling the GG. And there goes Relax from the 0 Hour 1.6 World Championship. Good work there, Opsnyder, taking the win, going on to the next round. That helix was a very, very risky thing, which it paid off. The helix worked. It worked great. It was fantastic. But he didn't have any way of then defending that counter push. That prop center was an absolutely terrible idea. That was probably the worst thing you could have done in that situation. You know, you really just got to build stuff. I mean, yeah, think about it. Think about that, especially considering how many Gatling tanks your opponent is forced into building. That, you know, just several Battlemasters can pretty much hold off. But, you know, Relax unfortunately did not have the spectator hacks that I did, and did not know that there was a huge arm coming to his base. So a bit unfortunate there, but at least shout out to Relax for trying something ballsy. It was actually fun seeing something other than a double war factory every game. But definitely, yeah, really great play. Well played from both players throughout this entire series. Definitely Opsnyder being so aggressive. He is really, really good at his offensive play. But yeah, they both definitely played very well in the end. So let's look forward to seeing more Opsnyder in the tournament. I will hopefully be casting them. If not, CNC HD or Swoggle will. So stay tuned for the future games of the 0 Hour 1.6 World Championship. I am Only Machine, the General Gentleman, and it has been a pleasure. Goodbye.